This is a Danish-InfoNews TV special edition on foreign policy. Israel's bold move rocks the UN and global stability. Greetings and welcome to this special foreign policy briefing from Danish-InfoNews TV, where we bring you in-depth coverage of one of the most consequential diplomatic crises of the year. In connection with reporting from the Times of Israel, we examine the fallout from Israel's controversial recognition of Somaliland, a move that has shaken the Horn of Africa, ignited global debate, and thrust regional stability into question. From the emergency session at the United Nations Security Council and intense reactions from Arab, African, European, and Islamic nations to threats from militant groups and shifting geopolitical alliances, we unpack the implications for international security, Danish foreign policy, and global diplomacy. Stay tuned for comprehensive analysis, key developments, and expert insight. UN Security Council divided after emergency meeting on Israel's recognition of Somaliland. The United Nations Security Council on Monday afternoon and evening, local time in New York, held its long-anticipated emergency meeting on Israel's recognition of Somaliland as an independent state, exposing deep divisions within the international community and leaving the issue in a diplomatic deadlock. As expected, the meeting was marked by sharp disagreement, particularly involving Somalia, which is set to assume the presidency of the Security Council in the coming days. No resolution adopted. No binding resolution was adopted following the meeting. Diplomats said the lack of concrete action was largely due to the position of the United States, which, while officially supporting Somalia's territorial integrity, signaled it would veto any direct sanctions or what it described as excessive condemnation of Israel. However, the three African members of the Security Council, known as the A3, issued a joint statement backed by China and Russia, strongly condemning Israel's move as a provocation that threatens stability across the Horn of Africa. Somalia's UN ambassador described Israel's recognition as an act of diplomatic aggression and warned that it could force Mogadishu to reconsider regional security cooperation arrangements. Joined Arab and Islamic condemnation. Arab and Islamic nations also issued a unified rebuke of Israel's decision. In a joint statement released by 21 mostly Arab and Muslim countries, together with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC), the signatories rejected Israel's recognition of Somaliland, warning that it would have serious repercussions for peace and security in the Horn of Africa, the Red Sea region, and international stability as a whole. The statement said the move sets a dangerous precedent by recognizing parts of a sovereign state, describing it as a violation of international law and the UN Charter. The countries including Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, and Iran also rejected any attempt to link the recognition to proposals involving the relocation of Palestinians, emphasizing that such ideas are unacceptable. Notably, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Morocco, all of which normalized relations with Israel under the Abraham Accords, did not sign the statement, underscoring divisions within the Arab world. Somalia, Africa, and rising security concerns. Somaliland declared independence from Somalia in 1991 and has for decades pushed for international recognition. A self-proclaimed republic, it enjoys a strategic position on the Gulf of Aden and has its own money, passports, and army, but it has been diplomatically isolated since its unilateral declaration of independence. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud reiterated that Israel's decision constitutes a threat to regional and global stability, accusing Jerusalem of violating Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Somalia has announced that once it formally takes its seat as an elected member of the Security Council on January 1st, it will push for a full international investigation into what it calls Israel's breach of African sovereignty. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed deep concern that the recognition could further destabilize the Red Sea region, particularly given Israel's stated rationale that the move is partly aimed at countering Iran-backed Houthi forces operating from Yemen. The security situation has been further complicated by threats from Al-Qaeda-linked militant group Al-Shabaab, which has vowed to target any Israeli presence or allied interests connected to Somaliland. Denmark and the EU. Stability first. As of now, there is still no official Danish statement regarding Israel's recognition of Somaliland, but the news shows significant international attention and condemnation from Somalia and the African Union, as well as UN meetings due to Israel's first recognition, which has sparked debate about geopolitics and the potential for similar moves in the region. Qualified guess. As a Security Council member like many other EU countries, Denmark will be seeking to act as a diplomatic bridge builder to prevent escalating tensions between Mogadishu and Hargeisa from turning into an open conflict. As for the EU, one could guess that it will mediate between Somali's federal government and Somaliland's authorities, fearing that Israel's move risks igniting a broader regional confrontation. EU officials could fear that the recognition of breakaway regions could trigger a domino effect of secessionist movements elsewhere in Africa. There is no official travel advisory for Somalia for Danish citizens, as the Danish Ministry for Foreign Affairs does not issue one, but the UK Foreign Office advises against all travel to Somalia, including parts of Somalia, due to terrorism and violence. Israel, Somaliland, and what comes next. Despite international pushback, Israel has said it will proceed with its plans, framing the recognition of Somaliland as a strategic necessity to protect shipping routes in the Red Sea from Houthi attacks. Somaliland has welcomed the decision and is celebrating Israel's recognition, with officials indicating they expect to open an embassy in Jerusalem within weeks. The Somaliland government has also reiterated its desire to join the Abraham Accords. Meanwhile, Somalia has made it clear it will use its upcoming Security Council presidency to keep the issue at the top of the UN agenda and to further isolate Israel diplomatically, particularly within Africa. With no resolution adopted and positions hardening on all sides, the situation remains frozen, and the next major turning point is expected on January 1st, when Somalia formally assumes its seat on the UN Security Council. Thank you for watching this special report on Danish-InfoNews TV. If you found this briefing informative and want continued updates on global affairs, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Stay informed, stay ahead. Credits to the Times of Israel for source reporting used in this update.